I'm Kateri, also known as Phenoxys, and I am a professional tarot reader. I'm here to show you my tarot collection. As always, this video is time-stamped for your convenience. Today, I have the Tarot of the Toiling Hands by Esme Baker. This is a deck I haven't heard a whole lot of people talk about, which is a sin because the deck is beautiful. This is a fully illustrated black and white deck using the RWS system. It has 78 cards, so we don't have any additionals here. Just straight up is what it is. What's a really sweet story about this deck is that the creator is a tattoo artist, and during the pandemic, lockdowns did a number on their business. They were almost about to close shop, but in a last ditch effort, they released this deck on Kickstarter, hoping that it would keep them afloat. Unsurprisingly, the deck was a huge hit and allowed them to secure a long-term survival for the shop. So before anything, I will say that my copy is a damaged box listing, as they were selling misprinted decks at a lower cost. The damage only affects the outer box, not the cards inside. So if you do choose to buy this, likely it's only going to be the undamaged version available. If you do end up getting that unblemished version, do not judge what you'll receive by the box of my piece here. This is my one copy, so I don't have the undamaged box to compare it with. However, I will mention I don't see any glaring issues with the box, maybe with the exception that it fits a little wonky, but for the most part, it doesn't look bad at all. So shipping did take 12 days from when I ordered the deck to when I received it. And that was from the UK to where I'm at here in Atlantic, Canada. So let's get into it. Before I go into there, here was the extras that came with the deck. We have this nice little kind of flash card here with the socials for the deck itself, where to find it on Etsy, Esme Baker Tattoo. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, I'm probably not. And listen, if you throw a sticker into any purchase, I am immediately happy because I'm such a slut for stickers, man. I love it. So I got a sticker. I'm pretty happy. Those were the two like extras that kind of came with it. The box quality, again, I'm not seeing any real big like misprints here, with the exception of like how it's like a little bit, just a little off here and there. Again, I don't have a way to compare it, so I can't really say anything, but let's take a look here. Box is just kind of a standard kind of flip box. You can kind of see a little bit here where that's where the tuck kind of opens up a little bit more. I'm not going to pull it too much. Can't say too much about the box itself. So for the little white book, I got, so, all right, so we have here the Tarot of Toiling Hands, just a little bit of a brief introduction, link to their website. I don't really see a whole lot of week ahead spreads around too often, which is pretty neat. And that's how yes or no readings work. It just seems pretty like how to shuffle. It's just keywords here. It's a nice kind of a glossy paper. When it comes to this little piece here, this is just regular paper, and it's a little disappointing because we have the in-depth analysis, which I really kind of enjoy here because it does show the artist's reasoning for their artistic choices, but this is it. I didn't get anything else. I don't know if that was part of the damaged deck portion or not, but yeah, I didn't get anything else with this, which I would much rather prefer this than just keywords, because I've been obviously reading for a while. This is nothing to really kind of, like, I'm not going to use this, but I find that having a little white book that has the artist's decisions in it is far more interesting to me. So I didn't really get anything. I got Justice on one side and the Five of Pentacles on the other. I wish it was a whole, yeah, that's it. I wish there was like a whole little white book of this. I feel like that would have been a lot more valuable, at least to me. So sit down on the side, and if we're looking at the back of the cards, it's really cool. It is reversible, and what I really like about the reversibility of this is that we do have the 4 elements here. And if you turn it around, it ends up being the same. Like, why didn't anybody think about that? That is so cool. At least I haven't seen it before. I'm sure it's been done before. But in my mind, I'm thinking nobody's done that before. It's just really cool. When it comes to the RWS here, like just a standard Rider-Waite Smith, size-wise, yeah, it's a standard tarot size. The edges are more rounded though. So when it comes to a more rounded edge like that, we can kind of expect a little bit of an easier shuffle. Cardstock wise, it's thick. So that is 350 GSM, and it definitely feels like it. So that is a nice thick deck. When it comes to this finish, they do consider it a gloss seal. So that means if it does, like if you have like moist hands, you're not going to screw up the deck too much. You can probably use like a very, 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 very lightly damp cloth to wipe it down if you need to. But it's still paper. So I just want to set the expectation, even though it has that gloss seal on it, it's not waterproof in any way, shape, or form. I'm going to discuss like how it feels when I'm shuffling it once I'm finished going through the flip through here. But overall, the cards feel really nice. Like, I don't know if you can hear that. Yeah, it's nice and thick. So I am going to go through the flip through. This is actually a blind purchase for me. So I'm going to be seeing the cards the first time with you, which is really exciting because, again, the second I saw these cards, I only saw a few of them and I immediately jumped right on it because just the aesthetic of this deck is really exciting, and I'll get to it after the flip through. So this right here are, honestly, it was really hard to pick just 5 cards that were my favorite, because all of them are absolutely gorgeous. There's not one card I didn't like in this entire deck, but these were kind of the 5 that when I saw them I immediately kind of had a reaction to. The Queen of Pentacles here is just, it's really beautiful. Like we have the angels here kind of bring the crown down. We have the symbol for earth here. We have her holding a goat, kind of really showing that earthliness. The pears, like that's so cool. And in that kind of similar sense, you kind of see that parallel there with the 4 of Pentacles and just kind of the holding. It's again kind of showing that greed and kind of holding on. You can't take it with you when you die. We have the 10 of Pentacles, which is, oof, really, like with the 10s, you kind of always see them with like an elderly figure on it. They can be a little kind of hard to read for people, but to kind of really show that this is, again, the master of completion and prosperity. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but that is just so cool. Now, the Lovers is actually never really my favorite card in a deck. I find that people kind of get a little too caught up in the like the romance portion of the Lovers. This one's really nice. So we have 2 mannequins here, so we have like genderless, we have like 2 genderless figures here, and then we have that kind of divine intervention when it comes to that harmony and coming together. That's really cool. I can't really say too much more. Again, we have like, I believe that's the symbol for air, if I'm not mistaken. Like the cards really do kind of kick in with all these little kind of mini details, kind of showing like symbolism in the card. It's really kind of chock full. And kind of same with the 2 of Cups is here. We kind of have 2 kind of genderless like figures. And that's kind of, for me, is that it makes it really easy to read for people. Regardless of like gender identity, it becomes a workhorse deck immediately when I'm dealing with kind of genderless type cards like that. And it's so pretty. And again, all those little details and the snakes and everything of the sort. Now, when it comes to overall the artwork on the deck itself, it's very evocative of like stained glass windows, I find. And there's a lot of things just kind of shoved into each card here, and they're all just very slightly different. Like what I'm saying is like you're not really bored with each card, because although you do have like that corners, the corners are so very different for each card. You don't quite know what you're getting there, which is really cool to me. I really do like these subheadings here on the top. The daughter of flux and propulsion. If you can see that really close there, the text is actually, it's not faded, it just has a really kind of interesting choice when it comes to the font there. But I really enjoy I really kind of enjoy these subheadings there, because instead of just having like your title on the bottom, is that you're kind of getting a little bit of, I wouldn't say direction, but it does actually kind of give you that really kind of strong sense of what the card is, without having to kind of think too hard. Because I find that a lot of times when they do have kind of these descriptions on cards, they can kind of stifle it a little bit. But the one thing I've noticed is that a lot of these really kind of hit home. There's really no, they're not kind of making stuff up. They're kind of hitting the really main keyword when it comes to these types of cards, and they're so nice. So shuffling wise, shuffles really well. I can't really say too much about shuffling myself because I have tiny hands. I'm gonna say it almost every time I do these reviews, that like literally my hands are ridiculously small. But what I can tell you is that it does shuffle really nicely. So if we're gonna do a quick shuffle here, and yeah, it shuffles easily. I don't think you could get away with a riffle shuffle. Oh, and the one thing I didn't quite get to, which I'll get to now, is that thickness-wise, compared to a Rider-Waite Smith. Yeah, so she's quite a bit thicker. But yeah, shuffles like a dream. So overall thoughts. Yeah, it's really pretty. I think what's really fascinating, I think maybe the reason why a lot of people have to talk about this is that it's not very flashy. Like doesn't have a whole lot of color involved in it. So because it doesn't have a whole lot of color, there might be this kind of attitude that it might not grab the attention or be pretty on social media or something of the sort. Oh, look at that. So cool. What I love about this deck is that because it's not flashy, what it ends up doing is that you really have to stop and pay attention to everything that's on that card. If you really kind of look, like you can see the houses in the back, just like the rocks in the river, there's so many details on here. If you just stop and look for a second. And to me, that's super cool. Like, I don't understand how this is not everywhere at this time. Well, again, I love how I just explained myself. I don't understand why this is not everywhere. It's because it's not very colorful. Let's be realistic. I think that it's kind of a deep cut type deck, because you do have to really pay attention to it. It's almost noisy. And I think this might not be an aesthetic for a lot of people. For me, I love it because I love being able to kind of pull all the details. And I maybe, when it comes to my aesthetic, I'm a bit of a noisy person myself. More is more. So that's where I can kind of see where people don't like this deck. I think that they're wrong. I'm joking, but honestly, I think that there is just such a beautiful aspect. And again, I kind of mentioned that it is, again, evocative of stained glass windows. And I think that it does it in such a way that is really powerful. Like that Six of Pentacles is so nice. And again, again, those subheadings are so important. And I think that they did mention, like, the reason why they gender things when it comes like mother, father, is because they are kind of indicating either feminine or masculine energy inside the deck. However, I do find that the deck is very well readable. There is some exceptions where, again, everything's kind of gendered. That might bother you, might not. I don't really care, because they do seem to be doing it well. I find that if you're going to gender something, at least do it well. And I feel like this does it very, very well. So yeah, I hope this is helpful to you in some way. If you do follow me on my Instagram, which is @Vinoxus, I will be posting a spread inspired by this deck and then photos of this deck all week. And if you want to give an offering to the algorithm gods and my name, please like and subscribe, and comment below your favorite card from this deck. I respond to as many comments as I can. Not only does it help me out a great deal, I do post tarot reviews every Sunday, so you'll not be without. That's it from me. Good luck, and remember your power.